Welcome to Tangent PropTech, where real estate meets innovation and goes a bit off script. I'm Edward Cohen, PropTech entrepreneur and your host, alongside my co-host and PropTech venture capitalists Jeffrey Berman and Zach Aarons. On this show, we bring on a guest who's shaping the future of real estate. We dive into housing innovation, climate tech, the future of work, and everything transforming our buildings and cities. If you work in real estate, prop tech, development, or if you're just obsessed with making buildings and cities better, this show is for you. Sometimes the best real estate ideas start with a tangent. I'm Edward Cohen. Welcome to Tangent.
Hello there. This is Jeffrey Berman, and we're about to get tangential.
Today on Tangent, we have Shahar Goldboim, co-founder and CEO of Boom. Hi, Shahar. Where does this podcast find you?
Hey, Edward. Hey, Jeffrey. Great being over here in cold Miami in the last week. It's been freezing over here.
Let me tell you something. You have nothing to complain about because I'm like 50 miles north of you, and I would take this weather over what they've got in the frozen communist tundra of New York. So it's like the Soviet Union up there. Mamdani's bringing the hammer and sickle.
Fair. It just has been, I think, the coldest over here since 1989. So it was a strange weather this week.
It's fine.
Couple of spoiled little brats here. Please don't South Florida only has the weather and the low taxes going currently. So if you ruin the weather and any spike in taxes is gonna spook everyone away. So please stop. And by the way, the free groceries in New York City are actually happening, just not from the actual Mamdani administration, but from Poly Market and Kalshi, the prediction markets of the people. So we have free supermarkets, at least for the next 5 days. Thank you, Poly Market and Kalshi. Jeffrey, thank you so much for taking a break from owning Serhant to be with us today.
You are welcome.
Shahar, so you grew up in what, according to you, is the hardest asset class in real estate, which is hospitality or hotels or single-family vacation rentals. You grew up managing $150 million in vacation rentals. So why do you say that short-term rentals are the hardest asset class?
Because it's really fragmented. Imagine that you have hotels that have 400 rooms. It's located in one place, concentrated place. Now think about 400 units that are all over town that are different single family house. So one is 4,000 square foot, the other one is 5,000 square foot. Each one of them located 5 miles from each other. All of them have pools, landscaping, different furniture, different materials in it. Really hard to control all of that. Now, when the guest is coming, he wants 5-star accommodation. So you need to have like consistency in the products that you have. And you have a lot of control that you need to have in really fragmented product. And you have like a lot of transitions that is happening, right? Like you have 5 transition a month, let's say 60 transition of customer going in and out in a year. And it's just the hardest asset class, because in the end of the day, the revenue that you will make will depend on the review that the guest is actually leaving. So if you get a 1-star review, it will take the ADR that you're doing totally down and the occupancy level. And because of that, it's the hardest asset class to manage. It's different than hotel and different, obviously, from a long-term rentals in the real estate market.
So STRs, as you just established, aren't just fragmented by the operations, they're also fragmented by ownership. So what were the biggest operational bottlenecks that inspired you and your team to start Boom?
I came to real estate actually from the side of the investment. So I was looking for return in real estate market. I built a startup to that. A friend of mine, that I am also a broker to real estate. So a friend of mine that I bought for his parents like a house in Eastern Shore, which is a fancy community in Miami. He told me, you know what, my parents decided not to move to the house. Let's do it Airbnb. And I told him, great that you want to do it Airbnb, but what's the connection to me? He told me, everything that you do good. So I thought, okay, let me think about it. And I found a company, it's 2017, back like, 9 years ago. So I found a company in Australia that can implement design on top of empty picture at the time. And I told him, okay, you know what? Let's list it on Airbnb with a fake furniture. We'll take the address of the house, the picture of the house, implement the interior design, and see what's the result. We've done that, and all of a sudden we receive reservation after reservation after reservation. So I asked my wife, do you want to design a home? She said, hell yeah. So we told everybody we had some damages, so we had to redesign. Long story short, we started to operate. It was a great success. And I was dealing a lot in real estate. So we had a flip that we were stuck with. So I changed to vacation rental. We bought a multifamily on the ocean, changed it also to vacation rental to show returns. Long story short, all of a sudden I have a management company that I'm running. So I moved the tech team that actually were in the other startup. One of them was my young brother, in order to build kind of a tech-enabled company, because when I started with a PMS called Guesty. On top of Guesty, we built so I need to do owner statement. So like all of the P&L of the asset, because
Do a what statement? Explain that to those that don't know.
So you have a house, it's have income and it's have expenses, like meaning like all of the supply that you buy into the house, like the cleaning, repair that needs to be done. So you need to aggregate all of the data in order to understand what the check that you need to give you at the end of
the procurement and the staffing.
Yeah, to the owner of the house. So you manage for somebody a property and you want to give him the check for the thing. Obviously, you take a management fee, but there is also other expenses that involve in the house. And it was really hard for me to capture all of that. So I remember my brother telling me that every time that it's the end of the month, it's like maybe I'm in my period time because I get angry and I get anxious. So we started with that, with like the P&L. And then as we grow, I remember like we had like investors that ask us, when did you change like AC filters to the AC? And I'm looking at Alon looking at me, my brother, and like, we don't know. Okay, we need to build a task management. And as we grow, we basically build more and more product because we didn't find a solution at the time to what actually we needed. So we build, and it's all come from the suffering that we had. And then it also came to realization. We talk about the fragmentation of like the product in vacation rental, but it's also the fragmentation of software, because you have like your PMS and your PMS connected to a lot of different pieces that you need to pay a lot of money to. And also you have a lot of manual jobs that you need to do from one to another. In general, when you're thinking about SaaS software as a service basically came to find a solution to somebody in your company, right? So if you have a company, your bookkeeper working on QuickBooks, and your handyman working on Monday, and your marketing person working on HubSpot, and in reality, the people on top of that tools are managing the company. So if your bookkeeper doesn't have an invoice, it will contact your handyman and will tell them, hey, send me the invoice, if it's through emails, through text, through whatever it is. But the people are managing it and manual labor done in between. And I believe the world is moving into a world of Baas, which is basically business as a software, where everything is combined, and then you don't have manual labor, a manual job that needs to transfer data from one to another. And another thing, when we take a look in the AI revolution, which is a change of infrastructure and the way we are looking at software in general, it's how AI can answer you on all of that stuff and also take execution of what needs to be done.
Okay. So just to recap, with all these tremendous experience, pain points that you felt firsthand managing others' short-term rental properties, you came up with Boom. So in one sentence, what does Boom does today? Or what are you hoping it does?
Boom, basically like where every software looking to how to help you do your business, we are thinking, how can I do the business for you? And giving you all of the capability to do everything in your business from one place.
Okay. And I see a lot of the marketing has the AI PMS branding, which I think is the first time I see it. So walk us through, how you guys are thinking about AI and how does AI come into play when it comes to helping property managers manage short-term rentals more effectively and better?
100%. So we talked about the software, that the software is basically setting all of your needs of your company, from owner portal, guest portal, P&L, pricing, website builder, basically everything that you need in order to run your company. So think about like right now a AI chatbot. So if you have an AI chatbot that's sitting on top of your PMS, if you're asking if you can do an early check-in, how can it give you the right answer if it doesn't have the knowledge of there is a task that needs to fix a toilet or a shower that will prevent from somebody doing like an early check-in? Do I have a late checkout? Do we finish cleaning? So you really have to have all of the data in order to really answer it the right way. So we have AI agents that basically sitting on top of that tool, like communication. We have companies that we eliminate 80% of their communication, meaning that right now they need to deal with 20% of the communication of what they used to. And by that, they can give much better service, right? Because if you have an issue and I'm with you, I can focus on the problems that I have rather than the tedious questions that are coming in. The same thing with bookkeeping. So we have the AI agent that basically sit on top of that tools. And now we came up with BAM, which BAM is the agentic AI that sit on top of everything. And it's changing the way we are interacting with software. So think about it right now, you have to have like BI report to any reports that you want to see in a PMS. So think about an option to ask any questions that you want, like which one are the best mattresses in between my portfolio? And it will go to the review, understand the review, and basically from that understanding which mattresses getting the best compliments from guests. And by that, you know which mattress is the best basically in your portfolio. So you can basically take a decision, right? You can also ask it like your best employee, like, let's build a plan. What will happen if a hurricane hits? So take the furniture inside the house from the outside, close the shutter, let the owner know, let the guest know. And basically he building a plan for you. Now a hurricane comes, so you say, okay, let's execute it. And everything is being done for you, including the verification and everything. So your ability to plan, your ability to execute. So it's
a lot of you're not being reactive, it's helping you be proactive and anticipating issues, or in this case,
100%. And
force
it's
majeure.
100%. Where do I have leakage of money? Do I have like basically the utilities? So you're telling him, okay, if the utilities, let's say is the water going more than 10%, I want to be notified and to get to know it. And he will go to the P&L. It's something that I used to do on a monthly basis. After it, obviously, I delegated to somebody to do, but now it will happen. And now you're telling him, do it from every month. And from then on, I don't need to do nothing. It's just like doing the job for me. And then you can go even further, like already open the task for the handyman to go and check it and let me know about that. So it's really like moving a lot of the tedious tasks that you're doing and doing it for you.
Interesting. Just wanted to clarify something you said earlier. The AI agent is called BAM.
Yeah.
It's called BAM. The company is called Boom, and your last name is Goldboim. So
Right.
I see a trend there.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
We thought about changing it to Goldboim, but when BAM came out, we are not sure. Let's see.
So let's talk about the part that Jeffrey really likes here. At the end of last year, you announced your financing round of over $12 million, backed by, among others, Avenue Growth Partners and also the former Hilton International CEO, Ian Carter. So what are you planning to do with the money? And how did you convince such as elite investors to join your project?
By showing them what we are doing, to be honest, it started
Without revealing any secrets or anything, how it's a valuation that, Jeffrey, correct me if I'm wrong, but like at the stage that you're in, like it's a very good on the larger side of fundraising in terms of early stage, but you also come with a ton of experience in the space, which always helps. But yeah, to walk us through how you convince the investors and what are you hoping to achieve with this group.
For me, it's the different hats that I was wearing. So I was a broker, I was a tech guy. I was a GP that also deployed around $50 million in the space in matter of syndication. My ability to talk every language and also looking at stuff in different way. I also had retail location in 28 states in the United States. So I've done a lot of stuff in my life to give me like the ability to look at businesses as holistic, I would say. So when I talked with Ian and I showed him what we are doing, I won on the hospitality side, what we bring to hospitality. Also, Goldman Properties invested in us, which they build Wynwood and the Soy in New York. So that's from the real estate aspect of stuff. Gary Fatako, that sold his company to Google, also invested in us, that he came from the tech understanding of what we are doing. And Avenue Growth came in, which are the most amazing partners that coming in, that they are like focusing, how can I create a growth with companies that have ARR of X and get them 5X of the current revenue that they are in. And they coming from a vertical SaaS concept. And when they saw what we are doing vertically with the software and the understanding of how we implement AI, not just in the product, but the way we are working within Boom, our ability to create software that is 10 times better than a company that's worth more than north of $1 billion, and we are with 40 employees doing much more than what they are doing. At the time we weren't like 40, at the time we were like 20. So with 20 employees, we are kicking ass to somebody that have 900 employees. That made a lot of sense to them.
The future of real estate comes together again next September at Blueprint in Las Vegas. You'll join more than 900 built world executives and over 850 startups and investors who are shaping how the industry works from construction to transaction. With trillions of dollars in assets represented and some of the world's best innovators under one roof, this is where the future of the built world takes shape. Blueprint 2026 will be held at the Venetian Las Vegas from September 22nd to 24th. Tangent listeners can save $300 on an all-access pass by visiting blueprintvegas.com/tangent. That's blueprintvegas.com/tangent for $300 off your Blueprint all-access pass. That makes sense. Jeffrey, how have you looked at solutions, AI, chatbots, and whatnot in the short-term rental space? I mean, we've had, Airbnb and previously VR, Verbo have really put this category on the map. And since COVID, short-term rentals or medium-term rentals have really become a staple in people's lives. We also had Vacasa last year that was growing a ton, and then all of a sudden got acquired and got delisted from the stock market in what is likely not the outcome the owners were thinking. So any thoughts, Jeff, on these category?
Yeah, I mean, from a usability perspective and from a utility perspective, it's great. We have not invested in any of the infrastructure in the STR space. We had an investment in a company called Overmoon, which shuttered, one of our very few unfortunate loss-making investments. And fortunately, it was a almost insignificantly sized investment, so that was a plus to that experience. But what we've seen is, to Shahar's point, it's a complicated business because of how fragmented it is. And so what we're interested in the operating system side of the business, which I think Shahar and companies like his are trying to lean into. We have not made an investment in the space yet.
By the way, Vacasa, for me, it's an interesting story because it's what is the DNA of your company. So at point, like when I raised Design VR, which was a management company, we built it as a tech-enabled company where we're functioning as the GP, the brokerage, the management company, construction company, design company, and we develop our own technology, right? And the management, obviously. And the point is first of all, what is my realization was what was my DNA of my company, meaning am I a hospitality company, investment company, a tech company? So I think it's really important for a company to know what is it. And also realization that I had was that with Vacasa, for example, they invested a lot of money in technology, but they didn't monetize on the technology. So you're spending a lot of money on a growth that it's not equal, right? When I develop technology, in the end of the day, if I'm adding a client, it's not a big add-on, right? Like your margin are high. But when I have the technology and I need to build a home, or I need to design a home, or I need to create a growth, it's not the same growth. So you're actually hurting both of the company when you are doing so. And Vacasa wasn't a tech company, it was an operational company. And a lot of time in real estate, you have the mix in between what are you? And it's happened also with WeWork, right? They were arbitrage on rent and they sell themselves was multiplier of technology. And it's really hurt the company long wise. So that's kind of like where it sits for me.
So let's go back to the concept that you described as BaaS, business as a service. So break that down for us and what's bundled into the platform and compare that to how a lot of property managers and operators of short-term rentals are used to operating, which is with point solutions, right? That
Right.
generates a lot of friction.
Right. So look at PMS like ERP. It's the same concept that you have a lot of stuff connected to it. And for me, it's like, and SaaS is like a software that's coming to help you do something, to do it better. So you have some automation and people needs to do it, where I'm thinking like how I can do the stuff for you. So my point, how do I take more and more tedious task away from you so you will be able to focus on the important stuff? So if I can take from you 95% of your communication, if I can take from you 98% of your accounting, if I can take from you all of that aspects, then you can really focus on growth, on strategic. You can focus actually on the human touch, because you will be able to have the time to focus how do I make the guest experience amazing, and not on all of the actions that you need to do. You need to know when to do the touch point with your client. So it's giving you the ability to really create a beautiful business and a healthy business. Because right now, for example, if we take vacation rental, the cost of labor really went up. It's really hard to find employees. The employees that are working 60 hours like a week. So you lose from all sides. And I'm saying, okay, how do we win from all sides? And how do I enjoy hospitality, and how I'm enjoying and not doing all of these tedious tasks? And this is what we are coming to solve.
I mean, not saying other property managers or of other asset classes don't have it easy, because they don't. I mean, by definition, they're just hearing problems all the time. If they hear from the end user, right, from the occupier, you have to have thick skin and really love what you're doing. But when it comes to short-term rentals, it's so many people, it's so many, different types of properties, like you said, not homogeneous at all, that any little error, any miscommunication can almost make or break at least the online reputation, at the very least, of a certain property, a certain listing, a certain company. So that, just makes the stakes so much higher for someone like Boom. Talk to us about the ROI, because you've mentioned time saved, you know customer satisfaction, lower costs, but like in practice, and it's okay if whatever you can share with us or whatever you're hoping to aim for, but what type of ROI can short-term rental owners and operators expect to get, or how would it look like after adopting Boom?
It's really touching every point of your company, right? So let's say from the AI sales agent, your ability to have like an AI agent that will work for you 24/7, that will be able to convert much more. It's your ability to understand data. So somebody is telling me I'm coming to visit my father to his birthday in May, and he's coming to visit one of our properties. I won't forget to send him in March. Are you coming again? Like next year, are you coming again to visit your father, right? Your ability to use data in order to convert sales. So all of that aspect in matter of like conversion, your happiness of your employees, your ability to do much more with less people or with the same group of people, to scale much more in matter of like operations. So also having like the A players and not the B and C players that you had to compromise before because you didn't have the salary to get to the A player or the lifestyles that they want. So it's really touching you in every position, understanding from your people that working in your properties, who is good, who is not good, who is a cleaner that gets the best review, how much time it's taking him to clean the house. So it's really like your ability to control all of that data and understand what needs to be done and how you optimize it. So we're really touching every aspect of the business. And as I said before, our point is how we will be able to do the business for you.
Jeff, just curious in terms of assuming that TAM is there, assuming the right combination of founding team and board members are there, which, in this case, Boom and Shahar and company seem to have assembled an experienced investor base and board. What type of ROI in terms of like the impact within the hours worked for the employees, the NOI, the bottom line for the operators, the room rate per night increase, justifying it because of what type of ROI would like make you say, okay, this is something worth investing, or this is something that it would be dumb for short-term rental operators not to at least consider or sooner rather than later adopt?
That's not the question that I would be asking myself relative to an investment, because there's two separate elements. There's, if I was an STR operator, what's the ROI of adopting this technology? And then what other technology companies or products and solutions are on the market that I can benchmark against this one, right? That's one. But then there's from the investor perspective. I don't know anything about Boom, Boim, Bam, and I don't know what the valuation is. So for me, it would be a function, especially in this day and age, like right now with the AI boom, we are incredibly valuation sensitive. We are the opposite of where other investors tend to be. A lot of investors are saying it doesn't matter what the valuation is. If it has AI on it, we're in. We take the exact opposite tack, because the challenge is that as AI evolves, the product suites of various companies are going to be under attack by homegrown, meaning the companies themselves will be able to build their own solutions, which then you say, okay, well, what does that end up doing to a venture-backed company? So for me, as an investor, I'd say, well, how much is Boom Bam Boim worth? Is Boom Bam Boim worth $1? Is it worth $100, $1,000, so on and so forth? And so that is what I'd be primarily looking for from the investor seat, as a function of whatever the ROI is for the STR operator.
That makes a lot of sense. As someone that is pro technology like you, that has so much experience, working in the space, companies like Guesty, AI is certainly super exciting. But as Jeff points out, it certainly is also a threat in the way that, your company is not yours in particular necessarily, but your company could hypothetically, theoretically get featureized by even one of the large AI companies or even big
Yes,
tech.
100%. So I think point solution are going to get away from the word for me. In matter of AI, it's a change of infrastructure, right? Like you have internet, you have water, you have electricity, and AI becoming basically infrastructure of intelligence. And the same way that you have different products that connect to electricity, like AC or TV, that are different products that using this kind of technology, the same thing with AI. So for me, it's how you're building a product that's getting better as AI infrastructure becoming better, right? How it's becoming smarter. So let's take Tesla, for example. So if you used to drive a Tesla with a self-driving like 2 years ago, it's nothing like what it's today. I just heard that Lemonade actually like came with insurance for Tesla that will be half of the price of a regular car, because you have
Lemonade.
yeah, you have like 20x less chance that you will run into an accident with a Tesla self-driving rather than you driving it yourself, right? So the car becoming smarter as you go. And I think this is how you build like the right infrastructure with the right software, that as AI evolving, your software becoming better, your ability to create a product to becoming better in all levels. And also, how do you create a loop within the product? So Boom, for example, working on Boom. So our ability to create a better software from the user, like using it, it's much better. So this is how I'm looking at AI, and this is why it's not like building it as a risk, but as it improves, we are improving our capability to supply better product.
Wait, but are you telling us that full self-driving didn't come out 5 years ago, like we were told by Elon?
It was because the infrastructure was there to make it better and better and better to the car that we're driving today. So it's the same way I'm looking at what we are building. It's become better and better and better to create the business unit. Yeah.
So today you're focused on short-term rentals, but talk to us beyond short-term rentals. Like what could Boom become, or how could it work for multifamily or even hotels or other operating heavy real estate verticals?
In the end of the day, real estate is the same concept, right? Like you need to do the maintenance, you need to do, so the core is always the same, as the urgency will be different, the contract distribution will be different.
I like that.
I called it Boom Real Estate. So
By the way, Jeff, thoughts on that? You need to see it spelled to understand it, but it's real stick. It's the new prop tech. So and they
what is
spelled exact.
Say that
Shahar,
again.
please.
real estate
It's not a steak. They're trying to put the word tech
in real
after
estate.
real tech. Compared to prop tech, I mean, we thought we were.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm gonna stick to real estate technology.
So the rebranding of Tangent Real Tech is not approved.
Look, this is your rodeo, but I think that would be a very bad idea. Sounds like a bad restaurant.
You haven't tried it yet.
It's amazing prop tech solution.
Now, last but not least, Shahar, collaboration superpower. If you could choose one person, historic or living, to do a partnership with, who would it be? And nothing wrong against Elon, but please don't choose him because 3 of the last 4 guests have chosen him.
I can understand why. The guy is like a phenomenal.
I can't. Give some airtime to other people, be creative. Elon, greatest entrepreneur of our generation. But come on.
To be honest, now when I'm thinking like Tony Robbins,
Love that.
the guy can move and the guy have energy, and the way he's looking at stuff, it's like, I think it will give everybody so much vibe to go and to create value and to create an amazing impact. I would love to have him around.
He certainly can dominate and inspire a whole room. I mean, Tony Robbins, apparently he coached Oprah, Nelson Mandela, and Bill Clinton, and Jeffrey Berman.
I just watched an episode of him on Diary of a CEO that I recommend anybody to take a look at. The way he is looking at the AI revolution, the way he's looking at stuff, it's important to see.
Shahar, where can short-term rental owner and operators and the rest of the Tangent community learn more about Boom and connect with you?
So connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm big on LinkedIn, so I would love to catch over there. And the URL is boomnow.com. And you can ask for a demo over there. The team would love to show you.
Thank you so much for coming to Tangent today and sharing your exciting company and wisdom with us.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
I really enjoyed it.
Muchas gracias. And thank you for listening to this episode of Tangent PropTech. If you learned something new or enjoyed the conversation, text a friend the link to this episode right now. You can find links, resources, and ways to connect with us in the show notes. or reach out anytime at tangentcommunity@gmail.com or on LinkedIn. We love interview suggestions, topic ideas, or just a friendly hello. We'll catch you next time, and remember, the best PropTech ideas usually start with a tangent. If you're building something impactful in real estate or tech and want to reach our audience of decision makers, investors, and operators, email us tangentcommunity@gmail.com.